Hello, my name is Owen. Today I'll be doing a quick review of Vicki Robbins' Your Money or Your Life. What I'm going to do is give a brief overview of the books about, tell you things that I liked, and tell you the things that I didn't like. This is a financial book, and I've actually never read a financial book before. But I am interested in finance. I am interested in saving money and in living a life where I don't have to worry about money. And this is a very highly regarded book. So I thought I'd check it out. It was originally published in 1991, I believe, but it was updated in 2018 for the modern times, even though it is written before COVID. So I feel like that changed things a little bit. But for the most part, it is very modern in its updated, revised version. And what I thought was interesting was I was expecting this book to be like very numbers focused, like what you should be investing in, what kind of side jobs you should be doing and stuff like that. And there is a little bit of that, don't get me wrong, but it's mostly like a philosophical book. And like the way like your mindset is about money, and it says like even on the front, like changing your relationship with money, which I actually found way more helpful than any of the numbers focused information. And now the book is separated into 9 steps. I'm just going to go over these steps real quick without giving you like a crazy in-depth summary of them. So the first one, or a lot of them are really just like bookkeeping, tracking things. So the first one is just writing down how much you've ever earned in your lifetime. Just get that on paper from day one. The next one is how much are you actually earning in your job right now, which is the first time I was like really impressed with this like philosophy. I'd never heard of it before. So the concept is basically like, if you're earning $20 an hour, you have to subtract your commuting costs. You have to subtract all the times you get home from work and you're too tired to cook, so you go eat out. You have to subtract all the times you go on vacation, not to experience something or to really actually like go on vacation, but just because you need to sleep because you're so tired from work. All of those are subtracted from your cost of your wage. So your $20 an hour wage might actually be $10 an hour after you subtract all these things. And then after that, you have like what they called like your life energy exchange rate. So basically, if your real wage after all those expenses related to work are taken away, $10 equals 1 hour of your life energy. And that's like the philosophy they carry out through the whole book. So it's not just like $10 is $10. $10 is 1 hour of your life's energy. And then going on from there, they have you track your expenses, every single thing, penny by penny you spend your money on, just so you have that all on paper and you get in the habit of knowing where your money went. And then you ask yourself the questions. Is it worth it? And this is where really like the philosophy starts to come in. So like if $10 equals 1 hour of your energy, that trinket you buy for $30, you have to ask yourself the question, is it worth $30? Is it worth 3 hours of my life energy? And if the answer is yes, then you could buy it, no shame. This isn't about being cheap, it's not about being stingy, it's just about asking yourself the question, because a lot of times you'll find that maybe it's not worth that. Maybe getting a new car when the one you have right now works perfectly isn't worth 2,000 hours of your life's energy and stuff like that. And then from that point forward, it's applying that questioning philosophy to the rest of your life. So you track it. They say like you should make a chart. That's the next step. And the next step after that is like enacting changes, right? So after you realize that maybe I don't need to spend this much of my life energy on this trinket or this consumer product, your expenses will go down. And then you can start thinking about the way that you're earning money. And then because your expenses have gone down so heavily by just not buying junk, you find that you could actually work a job you really love with half of the wage, because not only does it give you more time to cook at home, to spend money on things you actually need, to learn a skill so you could do house repairs without having to hire a contractor. Because you have more time, you could actually work part-time and earn the same amount of money, if not more. And because you lowered your expenses, you're living in the clear. And then from there on, talks a little bit about like investing and like doing bonds or stocks just to like get your passive income going up in there. And it kind of gets more like numbers focused from there to the end. But what I found really impressive about this book is that the main thing it really emphasizes is that you have to think up to yourself, and it's not an easy question to ask, and it's a question that everybody's constantly asking. It's like, what is your purpose in life? What is the thing you're really working toward? And like, let's just say, for example, like you want to be a painter, right? And then if you align your goals to, I want to be a painter, you'll find that you would always rather spend $100 on painting supplies and stuff like that, rather than spending $100 on going out to Applebee's, right? And it's always like, it's easier said than done, obviously, but you realize, like, by saying out loud what your purpose is, you realize how much time and how much resources you spend to things that have nothing to do with that purpose. And then you realize that maybe like your job that earns you a lot of money but doesn't give you a lot of time to paint, then is it really worth it? And you'll find that a lot of your hobbies, a lot of your lifetime purposes are actually very, very cheap to do. Because if you're a painter, all you need is paint supplies. You don't need it. You don't need the newest iPhone to be a painter. You don't need the fastest car to be a painter. And if you're spending more time at home painting, you're not going out. You're not buying. You're not getting like trapped into like the consumer flashy advertisements. You're not being bought into that kind of stuff. Or if you're passionate about nature and being in nature, it's free to take a walk. And it's not about being cheap. Like I said, it's not about like never having fun. It's about realizing what actually makes you happy and not falling in for like the consumer culture of like buying things that you don't really need, which I thought was very interesting. And like I said, obviously it's a lot easier said than done, but it just makes it, the way the author presents it is it feels very realistic, which I really appreciate about it. And obviously like the book does a better job selling it than I ever could, but it just felt to me that like if you follow these steps, you're on the right track to do something very achievable. And like some of the things, like people achieve financial independence at like 30 or like 35, which like sounds like completely ridiculous. But they say like, it doesn't mean like you're not working ever again. It just means like you can graduate from the job that you hate that pays a lot of money to like a job that you love that pays you like a pittance, right? But you lowered your expenses so much and you've been so smart with your money that you can afford to live on a lot less money because you've really aligned your goals away from like consumerism and like spending money. You only spend it on stuff that you actually need or actually stuff that makes you happy. However, as for things that I didn't like, obviously it's a financial book, right? Some of it's a little dry and they give a lot of charts that you have to do. And I feel like the worst thing about it is like, it just kind of like really hammers you over the head with like some of their points about like tracking and like their wall charts and stuff like that. And it is important. And I think they're great steps. However, like, I understand that you need to like re-emphasize things a lot to get them to stick. And then also at the end, like I said, it really got into like investing in like real estate. And it's just like, it makes it seem at the end, it's like, oh, well, a great way to earn money is to like just buy an apartment or buy a house and then rent out the rooms, as if like that's something that is easy to do and also like that's enjoyable at all. Like I feel like that's kind of like working backwards and like becoming a landlord is like the way to be rich. Just like, maybe they're right, but it also just sounds horrible. You know what I mean? So I wish they would spend a little bit less time at the end there talking about real estate. But yeah, a lot of the other stuff too, I think is very practical and it doesn't seem like a get rich quick scheme. And I really did enjoy it. So if you're looking into like financials and like how to like save money and how to live a more fulfilling life, it's all in there for sure. You could probably find more concrete philosophical books about finding your purpose because it is that and a financial book put into one. But for what it is, I think it's very efficient and I think it is a great financial money advice book. And I'm glad I read it at such a young age that I could apply some of these steps and mindsets to the rest of my life. And I feel like it will save me a lot of money in the long run. So if you're interested at all in that kind of topic, I do recommend it. Because like I said, even though I went over the points, I'm not the financial wizard, right? I don't really know exactly what's going on. I can't really present the information like it was presented. So I recommend you check it out if you're interested in that stuff. If not, you could probably look up a very quick summary online because I'm sure this book has been summarized. It was like 315 pages. I'm sure you could find quick summaries of each of the steps on the internet if you don't want to waste your time. But it didn't take me that long to read and I kind of enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe for more reviews in the future. And thanks for sticking around.